This is Bedtime Stories, Grownup Edition, Unhinged, Part 6, the finale. In Part 5, we found out just how CT found out all about Stephanie and Angela's family. He got it firsthand from the horse's mouth. And Stephanie was none too pleased when he decided to keep it to himself. So she and True were on their own in their efforts to find Rennie, who'd gone off the grid. Rennie had taken things way too far. Not only had she been intimate with Dr. Indugo, but she done so against his will. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. She SA'd that man. And the only reason that she wasn't in the slammer was because he was embarrassed. So now Stephanie and True are on a mission to find Rennie. And there at her front door, Stephanie is beating the door down. She said, Rennie, if you don't open this damn door right now, I'm going to call your brother and let him handle it. Or better yet, I'm going to let Dr. Indugal call the police. I hope you got your hair done, because you're going to look a mess in that mugshot. Finally, Rennie opened the door. What do you want, Stephanie? Stephanie said, girl, don't play with me. We know what you did. Rennie said, I don't know what you're talking about. Stephanie said, you drugged that man and took advantage of him. He caught you and put you out. You haven't been to class, and nobody has seen or heard from you. Rennie said, who told you that? Stephanie said, so you're not even going to deny drugging and taking advantage of that man? Rennie said, girl, ain't nobody take advantage of him. He just needed a little inspiration. True said, girl, that is a crime. It's immoral. If somebody did that to you, they'd have to pray that the police found them before your brother did. Stephanie said, or before I did. Rennie said, y'all are blowing this way out of proportion and y'all way too loud. I got neighbors. Stephanie said, well, let us in. Inside, Rennie continued to refuse to be accountable for her choices. She said, that's my man, and I missed my period. Stephanie said, oh my God, please tell me you're not pregnant by this man. He is married with kids and old. And if you are, you knocked your own self up because he was not a willing participant. Rennie said, I don't know why you keep saying that. He was absolutely willing. Girl, the things that man did to me, he can't possibly blame on the wine. True said, it wasn't the wine. It was whatever you put in the wine. And he knows what you put in it. He tested the wine. He's a chemist. Rennie said, then he knows that there wasn't anything illegal in that wine. And the truth of the matter is, he drugged me. I wasn't prescribed what was in the wine. He was. Stephanie said, oh my God. True said, what are you going to do now, Rennie? Rennie said, I'm going to get my man back. Stephanie said, girl, that is not your man. That man got a whole wife. Rennie said, Stephanie, this is not like your mother and your father's situation. Just because your father was cheating on your mother and messed up y'all family. Stephanie said, beep, I will slap the taste out of you. True grabbed Stephanie and pulled her back. And True said, Stephanie, calm down. You know how she is. When you confront her, she flips it on you. Rennie said, and True, you not perfect. You think I don't know you busted wide open for that hot boy when we was down in South Beach? True said, girl, please. I don't know what you got going on. We are trying to help you. We're trying to keep you out of the slammer. We're trying to keep you in school and keep you from losing your scholarship. We're trying to keep you from ruining your life. You got to let this go. And if you're pregnant, Rennie said, then me and Dr. Indugu are going to be parents. And little Miss Isabel is going to be served with divorce papers in Italy. Who said, you really think that woman is going to give up her husband? She's due back here in a matter of days. Stephanie said, true. Rennie said, oh, really? Well, that's just perfect because that means she'll be finding out sooner than I realized. Stephanie and True spent the next hour trying to convince Rennie that Dr. Indugal wasn't her man, that there was no way on earth she could have a baby with him, and that she needed to let this whole thing go to no avail. Eventually, she put them out of her apartment. Stephanie said, True, why did you tell her that man's wife is coming back? True said, I don't even know what I was thinking, girl. It just came out. You think she gonna do something else crazy? Stephanie said, Of course, True said. I think it's time we call LJ. Both Stephanie and True tried to call LJ over the next few days and they couldn't get in touch with him. Eventually, Stephanie called Angela. Angela said, "What's going on, little sis?" Stephanie said, "Renni done lost her damn mind. And we've been trying to get LJ on the phone to let him know what's going on, and we can't get in touch with him." Angela said, "LJ's been dealing with some crazy stuff at work, something with his partner, and is she in danger? Is it something that he needs to handle right away?" Stephanie said, "No, but somebody else might be in danger." Angela said, "Okay, well, I'll call Regina and see if she can get the message to him." Over the next few days, Stephanie and True continued trying to reach Rennie, trying to get in contact with LJ, but they had their own classes and jobs that they needed to handle as well. On Thursday, they paid a visit to Dr. Ndugu's office. Dr. Ndugu told them that he'd spoken with Rennie, that she was apologetic, that she'd said she understood that they couldn't be together, and that it was all a big misunderstanding and a mistake. Shocked, the two ladies went on their way. Stephanie said, "Something just ain't right. I'm gonna call Rennie again." When she did, Rennie answered the phone like nothing had ever happened. She said, "What's up, girl? I was getting ready to call you." Stephanie said, "Oh, really?" Rennie said, "Yeah, girl. I finally talked to my brother and we talked about the whole situation and I realized I was tripping. Don't worry, girl. It's over with and my period came." Stephanie said, "Ooh, girl, thank God. What was you thinking?" Rennie said, "Girl, I've been going through a lot, but I'll be all right. But I'm trying to get this stuff worked out with my classes, so I'm gonna call you back." Stephanie relayed the message to True, and True said, "Thank God." Stephanie said, "I don't believe her." True said, "But she finally admitted." Stephanie said, "It's a ruse. That means wife is coming back tomorrow." Stephanie called LJ, and when he answered, she said, "Did you talk to Rennie?" LJ said, "Yeah, I talked to her." Stephanie said, "Did she tell you that she was working for Dr. Ndugu, babysitting his children, and that she drugged his wine, had sex with him, and he caught her drugging his wine?" LJ said, "What?" Stephanie said, "His wife is coming back tomorrow. And now all of a sudden, Rennie is apologetic, admitting that she did something wrong, and almost acting like her old self again. But when we saw her just a few days ago, she was adamant that Dr. Ndugu was hers, that his wife would be out of the picture, and that they were having a baby." LJ said, "What the hell is going on, Stephanie?" Stephanie said, "I don't know." LJ said, "You know she didn't tell me none of that, right?" Stephanie said, "I figured she didn't." LJ said, "You have no idea what I've been dealing with here. I don't know how I'm going to manage to get out of work, but I'm going to get out of work and I'm going to get there as soon as possible. Can you pick me up from the airport?" Stephanie said, "Just tell me what time your flight lands." LJ said, "And get me Dr. Ndugu's phone number." The next morning, when Stephanie picked LJ up from the airport, he said, "Do you need your car the rest of the day, Steph?" She said, "No, I don't have any plans." He said, "Okay, cool. I'm going to need to borrow it." When LJ dropped Stephanie back off at the dorm, he met Dr. Ndugu at his office. LJ said, "Listen, I really appreciate you allowing me to handle this and not getting the authorities involved. I don't know what's gotten into my sister, but clearly something is going on mentally, and I'm committed to getting her the help that she needs. While I don't want to put your wife in any unnecessary danger, it's clear that she's already in danger. So if you just work with me, do everything just the way we discussed, I'm pretty sure that Rennie will fall right in the trap and I'll be able to get her out of this and get this all solved for you." Dr. Ndugu said, "I truly appreciate it, Lawrence. I'm really sorry that it went this far. Just promise me that nobody's going to get hurt and let me know about this whole pregnancy situation. LJ said, I can't promise that no one's going to get hurt, but I can assure you that I'm going to do everything in my power to keep you, your wife, your children, and my sister safe. And believe me, she's not going to have a baby, no matter what. Now, did you bring your wife up to speed? Dr. Ndugu said, Unfortunately, yes. And you verified that Rennie's been in the lab and the chemicals are missing. Dr. Ndugu said, Unfortunately, yes. LJ said, Okay, well, I'm going to head out. I'll be in position. 3 hours later, LJ was following the local sheriff who was transporting Rennie to a psychiatric hospital. In hand, he had a 3-month psychiatric hold for Rennia Johnson, who a judge had determined was psychotic with homicidal tendencies. LJ had followed Rennie around Baton Rouge. Rennie had been sitting outside of Dr. Ndugu's home. She'd watched as Isabella arrived home, unloaded her luggage from a cab, went inside, showered, changed, hopped into her own vehicle, and headed to a local coffee shop that she was known to frequent. Inside, Isabella got her standard coffee, opened up her laptop, and started working. LJ watched as Rennie walked into the coffee shop and pretended to run into Dr. Ndugu's wife. Rennie had made nice with Isabel, gotten her own cup of coffee, sat down, was engaging her in conversation, and just when she thought that Isabel was distracted, she reached in her purse to take out the vial of chemicals that she intended to pour into Dr. Ndugu's wife's mug. LJ grabbed her hand. He snatched her purse and poured all of the contents out on the table. Rennie immediately became defensive, of course. She said, What the hell are you doing? And why are you here? LJ said, I was going to ask you the same damn thing. As the vial of chemicals hit the table, both Rennie and Isabella jumped back. LJ said, What's the matter, Rennie? You was scared it was going to get on you? With guilt all over her face, she said, You don't, no, see, LJ said, What were your plans here, Rennie? Isabella, knowing that antagonizing Rennie would be exactly what LJ needed, said, I guess you figured you'd poison me and steal my husband, huh? Rennie said, You are a third wheel at this point. You are unnecessary. Isabella said, And you have lost your damn mind. Rennie said, And I'ma kill you. And then she charged Isabella, jumping over the chair, grabbing her by the throat. They both fell over the side of the table. LJ ran around the table trying to yank Rennie off of Isabella. People in the coffee shop were shocked and appalled. When LJ finally wrestled Rennie off of Isabella, he had to pin her down like she was a suspect. The barista called 911, and when the police arrived, LJ had to explain everything that was going on. He said, My sister is having a psychotic break. She doesn't need to be arrested. She needs to be hospitalized. Officers looked at Isabella and said, Ma'am, are you pressing charges? Isabella said, No. I just want her to get the help that she needs. The officer said, You're going to have her committed. LJ said, That's already in the works. I've already been in contact with your sergeant. If you call him, he'll get you up to speed. When Rennie arrived at the psychiatric facility, she was pissed. So you telling me that you conspired against me, your own sister? You gonna have me committed? LJ said, You should be in jail. You tried to kill that woman. Rennie said, I didn't try to kill anybody. If I tried to kill her, she'd be dead. LJ said, If I didn't stop you, she would be. And you'd be spending the rest of your life in the penitentiary in Louisiana. You do know they have the death penalty, right? Rennie said, I'd rather be in jail than a crazy house. LJ said, And I'd rather you be healthy. I love you, Rennie. I want my sister back. Get well. Rennie said, But what about my baby? LJ said, You're not pregnant, Rennie. It's all in your head.